What inspires me the most about science is the pure sense of discovery. My name is Benjamin Palmer. I'm an assistant professor of chemistry at Ben-Gurion University. In our lab, we're exploring how animals use crystalline materials to manipulate light. Spectacular coloration and visual phenomena in some animals are produced not from pigments, but by the way light reflects and interferes off complex nanostructures in the skin of these organisms. We've made two major discoveries. The first one was to understand how organisms exquisitely control and regulate the properties of these crystals by following model organisms during development. The second is the discovery of a new class of biological crystals which have exceptional optical properties. From a fundamental point of view, we've opened a completely new area of science, organic biomineralization. That research has thrown out some surprising new fundamental discoveries in optics and chemistry that were completely unknown. Understanding how organisms precisely manipulate light can inspire new optical materials with properties unobtainable in man-made materials. For example, there's growing concern about the toxicity of inorganic optical materials like titania, commonly used as whitening agents in medicines, foods, sunscreen, and toothpaste. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and our research has provided inspiration for new, biocompatible replacements to these materials. Inspired by nature, we're exploring a completely new type of science which manipulates and controls biological cells to make these materials for us. When I got the call that I had received the Blevatnik Award for Young Scientist, I was ecstatic and absolutely delighted. I think the Blevatnik Award is an important recognition for the team and I think also for the field itself, which is really starting to develop into something quite exciting. Okay, good morning everyone, and thanks very much for coming along today. So, as you saw in the video, from chameleons to iridescent fish and insects, many of nature's most spectacular optical phenomena are produced from materials that are paradoxically transparent. Okay, and this so-called phenomena of structural color, these are produced by the way that light interferes with complex structures in the skin of animals, often composed of ordered materials called crystals. Okay? And here the colors are not dependent on the presence of pigments, but on the angle of the reflection of light, much like the reflection from a soap bubble. And just as plant seeds have inspired the development of technologies like Velcro and the beak of the kingfisher, the bullet train design, so nature's ability to precisely manipulate light inspires new optical materials with functions that are not obtainable with man-made devices. So my journey to Israel was an unexpected one. I grew up in Wales, in a rural community of Wales, and first discovered my love of crystals during my PhD. And then from the work of two pioneering Israeli scientists, Lior Dadi and Steve Weiner in the Weizmann Institute, I became fascinated with how animals use crystals to make bones, teeth, shells, and also manipulate light. And I came to Israel to find out more. And for the last 6 years at Ben-Gurion University, my lab has been exploring how animals use crystalline materials to manipulate light. A particular popular choice of optical material in biology is guanine, better known as one of the four building blocks of DNA. But in crystalline form, guanine is found in thousands of species of animals and microorganisms, where it's used to produce a whole raft of different optical phenomena. So why guanine? What's special about guanine? Well, the amount that a material interacts with light is determined by its refractive index, a quantity called the refractive index. The higher the refractive index, the more light is reflected. And guanine's exceptionally high refractive index means that almost perfect mirrors, like you see here, which you'd normally associate with metals like aluminium and silver, can be generated from just a few nanometer of layers of guanine crystals. Okay, but much like the way that light would reflect from a gemstone or from snow, only certain faces of these crystals are reflective. And that means that the shape of the crystal dictates its optical properties. And the amazing thing is, and this is what got me into this field, is that from a single type of material, organisms are able to generate a huge array of different crystal shapes, each precisely optimized for a particular optical function. And what wasn't understood was how the organisms do this. Okay, so for the last years, we've been watching crystallization in model organisms undergoing development using various different techniques, including advanced electron microscopies. And we've uncovered some of the unifying principles that organisms use to control the properties of these materials. And this has led to the development of a new field, which we call organic biomineralization, which is interesting in itself, but also inspires new ways that material scientists can produce crystalline materials using pharmaceuticals, advanced materials, and lots of other areas. But today I'm going to tell you about a different problem, which shows that these exotic and strange biological systems might provide an answer to a pressing global challenge. Titania is the most common whitening agent used in paints, pigments, pharmaceuticals, sunscreen, toothpaste. It represents a $24 billion a year industry. But there are huge concerns about the toxicity of this material, both to human life and aquatic life, and it's recently been banned by use in the food industry in the EU. So the race is now on to try and find biologically compatible replacements to this material. And I was surprised to find out that maybe the answer might lie in the eye of a shrimp. You'll all be familiar with this phenomena. You'll all be familiar with this phenomena if you drive around at night. This is called eye shine. It's produced by a tapetum reflector, which sits behind the retina, which we heard about earlier, and it's responsible for reflecting photons to the retina to enhance vision. A few years ago, we discovered a new biological material in the tapetum eye shine reflector of a shrimp, which is made from a previously uncharacterized biological crystal, which has the highest refractive index of any biological material. And unlike the guanine crystals, which you saw previously, the crystals are arranged into these really unusual nanospheres, where the shiny faces of the crystal project outwards in all direction, much like a disco ball. Okay? And in the last few years, we've discovered this material in all sorts of different devices, camouflage, reflectors in crustaceans, the vivid colors of insects, and also in this cleaner shrimp, okay, which has been made famous as the obsessively cleaning shrimp Jacques in Finding Nemo. He has this brilliant white reflector on his antennae to call in cleaner shrimp like Nemo to the cleaning station in this symbiotic relationship. Now, the amazing thing about Jacques is that he's able to produce almost 100% bright, reflective white colors from a layer of material that's about 10 times thinner than a human hair and about 50 times thinner than what would be required from a conventional titania paint. Okay, now the answer to this conundrum, this optical conundrum, lies in the way that the crystals are arranged in these nanospheres, these disco balls, which produces a phenomenon called birefringence, and that's a material which has different refractive indices in different directions. And this revealed a very surprising new fundamental thing in scattering physics, that birefringence can be used to enhance the scattering of materials in a way which has never been achieved with man-made materials before. And this is, showed us an important new fundamental discovery in physics, but also led to new potential for using biological materials as replacements to titania. So in the last few years, we've uncovered the mechanisms that organisms use to form these amazing crystalline materials in biology, and we've also discovered an entirely new class of optical materials which may open up completely transformative applications in optics, pharmaceuticals, and beyond. So I would like to thank Selena Blavатnik and the Blavatnik Family Foundation for the generous award, the New York Academy of Sciences and the Israel Academy of Sciences and Humanities. Of course, I would like to thank my amazing group for all their dedication, perseverance, especially in the difficult days following October the 7th. Absolutely amazing team. I'd like to thank my mentors in the Weizmann Institute, Leah and Steve, for introducing me to this world of biological crystals. And my wife, Eva, and my new 10-week-old baby daughter, a Welsh girl with a lovely Israeli name, Tali Aviv Ruth. Okay, thank you all for listening.